Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Thursday Night Racing League. Sorry for the delay there, everybody. We had some technical difficulties here down in the lovely commentary booth that we have today. Sorry about all the, be on this side actually, all the stuff. This is the first time, obviously, we're doing this type of graphic for the Thursday Night Racing League. For those of you that are joining us regularly, I'll get through to the calendar and also the championship positions, which is vitally important for the season ahead. We are in week 2 tonight. This is coming from the Brands Hatch GP circuit, which is one of my absolute favourite circuits. I love it. We are looking for around a low 120s, I'd expect, in terms of qualifying pace today. And so far, Adam's done a 125 in practice. That was off camera in the 5 minutes that we had to do our quick system reboot. These things happens in real racing, happens in sim racing. 2 weeks ago, we were at Monza. Fantastic. There were some silly incidents for those that had joined regularly. Ash 150 took the race win there, actually. He did absolutely sensational. Sorry, was it Ash win? No, it wasn't. Adam took the race win there last season. He did absolutely sensational from him. That was brilliant. But tonight we're at Brands Hatch on the GP circuit. That's the longer of the 2 circuits that we run. Sorry, it's the longer of the 2 circuits that you can actually run. It is one of my personal favourites. It was back in the GP circuit, which was absolutely sensational. So that's where we are tonight. Now, over to the championship standings on where we are. So let's get the calendar first. Last week we were at Monza. That was February the 18th is where we were. Then we're at Brands Hatch GP. That's where we are currently at the moment. After Brands Hatch GP, we're then at Silverstone on the 18th of March. I will not be commentating on that one, I'm afraid. That will be somebody else. Then we're off to Circuit Paul Ricard in France. Then over to Miziano, down to Zandvoort, to the Spa 24. That's the longer of the circuits that we will be running. Then it's the Nürburgring, Budapest, and finish off all the way in Barcelona. And that's where we are. That's where the season ends. So that is where everything is. Now, let's have a look over to the championship standings. So Ash 151 is currently leading the championship on 33 points. Then we've got M3 Beast second with 21. Then Adam, then Depressed Grid, Micah Offcut, Gennaro short into G3, Pleneth, Marmoletto, Serial Killer, and then the rest of the teams unfortunately are a bit further down. Now, like I said, let's have a quick go through the chats. Jossy90, nice to see you again in stream. Nice to see you 2 weeks ago. Nice to see you back again. Because I've had to change my audio settings in terms of how I am, please let me know if my voice can be actually be heard, and the racing is not too loud, because these GT3s make an absolute racket as they come around the circuit. Now, early pace setting that we can see tonight is Adam, currently, like I said, race winner last time out in the McLaren down at Monza. So he's currently setting the early pace, 123.966. Right behind him, 0.4 of a second, is Marmoletto. He's in the pits at the moment, but there he is. He's in that green Bentley's, the British racing colours. And I'm just going to change, there we go. Let me know, Joss90, if that is a lot better in terms of the audio, because I usually run the Project Cars too, so I'm having to play around with the settings because of the way the engine notes work on this. They're deeper, harder, and they've got a much louder bass sound to them. Now, back to the racing. This is free practice. We've got 22 minutes remaining of free practice. That'll take us up to roughly around 8:30 tonight. Then we've got 30 minutes for qualifying. That is going to be vitally important in terms of how much fuel they are carrying on board, because it takes roughly about a lap to 2 laps to get those tyres into the optimal operating zone. And by that I mean green, hot, sticky. From that point, they will have to then start burning the fuel off and go for a 1-lap shootout. Really, we saw it at Monza. That's how Adam Marmoletto Marmoletto currently still in the pit. Ash 150, there he is in the Lexus. And Mike RJ in the Mercedes. He did quite well at Monza, to be fair. He got some fantastic positions. But again, there seems to be this, there were some silly incidents as well. And Mike RJ 95 did well to come out of those. But unfortunately, he just didn't find that early pace. That camera view I do not like, I will be honest with you. The camera views on this game are, they're not great, but I'll take you through, get that action, and we will see it tonight. So, weather tonight. Weather's due to be hot, sunny. I'm not expecting any rain. I've not been told of any rain from what I've seen. So it's going to be, the tyres are going to have to, they're going to be screaming murder in the 30-degree sun. Temperature is 23 degrees. Track is a nice toasty 31. It could be slightly higher, maybe a little bit lower, but that's going to add some nice, lovely stickiness to the tyres. It's going to get them working quicker and into that optimal temperature zone, which will enable them to go out and get that quick, hot lap, which they need. Now, we're currently following around Mike J95 in the Mercedes. He is actually Scottish, and he's currently ranked 5th in the championship, just behind Press Squid, who is in the Audi. There he is, down in 6th place in the pits, and so is Full Throttle in the Ferrari at the moment. So, in terms of people I'd expect to do well here, I would expect Bullen FN2. There he is in the McLaren. I would expect Bullen to do well here. For those that have raced with Bullen before and have seen how he's done in other leagues, he tends to qualify 5th or below, and then he'll finish 5th or higher. He had a silly incident out in Monza, collected himself into a barrier, had an accident all by himself, and then just didn't really recover from that. He didn't really find any rhythm in terms of the rest of the track and in terms of gaining up his positions. So it's a little bit tough out there. R. Harrison, there he is in the Ferrari. He had an absolute nightmare when it came to different racetrack. Absolute when it came to Monza. He had a 30-second stop-and-go penalty because he didn't complete his pit stop. They have to complete a pit stop. I will get to the rules, and he's absolutely binned it. He's collected himself there, coming out of 30s. That's going to be game over. He's going to have to go back and sort out the damage on that car. Depressed Squid is now out. He's out on his outlap. Here he is. He's coming out of. He's just come out of Graham Hill. Then he's going to go through the left-hander here. 30. It's a fantastic corner, this, especially at full throttle. You don't want to go on the inside too much because the car destabilizes itself on the exit, which it did a little bit there. Through that little right-hander, and then it absolutely down into Hawthorne. Dip back up the hill. Through the right-hander of Hawthorne's, absolutely fling the car in there. He could have taken a bit more curb there, so he's lost a bit of time. You can take more curb through this right-hander here, then this comes through Dingledell, it goes down, back up the hill, and you proceed to turn the car right. He's kept it straight there, nice and tidy, through the right-hander of Sheen, and then this takes us into the left-hander of Sterling. Do not like that camera view. It's too artistic, misses out some of the action. Back down here, absolutely flying it through into the long right-hander. You have to keep it nice and tidy. The car will absolutely bounce all over the place through that right-hander there, and the track just isn't smooth. It's been, in real life, it has been resurfaced. In the game, it has not. And because of that, the car tends to just bounce all over the road when it comes through that. And it's just not nice, it's tricky, it destabilizes the car. So, yeah, it's a bit tricky. Now, this particular race circuit with 17 minutes remaining of the free practice session. Let's pick up Mike J. He's currently in 4th. There he is in the Mercedes. This track itself is a classic track. It's an old-style circuit we race at, much like Monza. But the big difference when you get at Brands Hatch GP is it's not a wide track. It's not a wide track, which means it's very difficult to overtake. If you go onto the grass or you cross onto the rumble strips and apply the pressure too much, what happens is Full Throttle was recovering in the background there, and so was Ty. There he is, Ty Sean Green. I'm just going to call him Ty from now on. No doubt you might say no. I'm just going to call him Ty. And because it's a classic race circuit, it's very, very tricky to overtake. You cannot really gain any form of a toe here either, as it looks like full throttle in the background went off again in that Ferrari. You don't really gain any advantage from having a slipstream here. Not like at Monza when you can gain 2 to 3 tenths on the lap. But what Brands Hatch GP awards you for is clean, smooth driving. It's very much an old-style circuit where you have to hit the apexes perfectly. If you don't, it throws the car wide. If it throws the car wide, you end up on the grass. You end up on the grass, you lose time. And that's why the guys towards the end of the field really need to start finding a rhythm. And this track is very much a rhythm track. As Mike's just popped into second place there, second fastest in free practice. So he's 2 to 3 tenths off really Adam at the moment. Adam's in the McLaren on a 120.660. He's dived in the pits. Mike's still out currently trying to push in some lap times. Let's have a look at the timetables as it comes up currently. So we can see at the moment the first two at the top, both Adam and Adam has got Sector 1 and Sector 2 times down, a 27.459 and a 21.876. But that third sector time of a 35.238 is 1/10 faster than our current poles, our fastest man in full practice. So, looking at the times, it does look like that we should really start to see, as we come back out there, we should really start to see someone roughly hitting the 123.9s, maybe a little lower. But it is going to be very, very nip and tuck, because the qualifying at the top is actually very, very close. And that's the thing, and this is what we saw last season, and that's what we'll see this season as well. So it is going to be one of those, it's going to be about who makes the less mistakes and who can actually connect all of the corners up together in order for it to make a difference. As everyone is now starting, with 14 minutes in, everybody is now starting to dive into the pits, and I suspect we'll start to see that again. We've picked up Marmoletto, currently in third, there he is in the Bentley. And again, I just think we'll just start to see them all diving in now, just checking out their fuel usages, and then from the fuel usages, they'll then be having they'll just be having a quick little look to where everything is. I mean, it's going to be very, very close. It was close at Monza. The problem that Marmoletto had, who's now currently in third, because Mike RJ's just popped into a 124.4. The problem that Marmoletto had was at Monza, at the opening lap, he just got involved in this silly little incident. And because he got involved in that silly little incident, it just resulted in him tumbling down the order. And that was the problem. We saw it before, and we could see it again, but he just needs to keep it nice and tidy. He's 9/10 off now, so he's the head of the other section of group, roughly from third all the way through to Bullen and 12th. But on a track like this, it doesn't really make that much difference. It's all going to be about keeping it nice and tidy. So he's still coming out. Hey, let's have a look at Ash. So Ash 150. He did very well at Monza, to be fair, in the Lexus. He managed to keep himself out of trouble, and then put in some absolute banker of hot laps. Now he's 1 second off the pace, currently in free practice. But again, one of the things I don't know is I do not know what the fuel loads are that we're currently running in terms of the drivers. Unfortunately, I did not get that information. If I did, then obviously I would bring it directly to you. Because we can't see that, it just makes it very tricky to see what everybody is currently running, what type of settings they've got on, what tyres they currently have on, and because of that, it's going to be quite tough. And again, I would expect, for those that have followed the stream from the start, I'm expecting to really see lower 124s, possibly 123s. But let's have a quick look over to Mike. He's currently going out on his lap. Let's have a look over the times. So again, there is a perfect lap there. So that first sector is done at 27.252. He's not purple in Sector 2, he's on 21.876 there, but he's equal in Sector 3. So we might see somebody go a little bit faster. Again, it's going to be about who can actually hook up that perfect lap, what fuel load is on board in terms of the car, how they've set up that suspension, because they're going to lean on the car a lot. And because this track, specifically this section, is just absolute bounce monster. The car bounces all the way through that right-hander. And then when you're coming back down the Brabham Straight here, through to the right-hander of Paddock Hill Bend, this is where a lot of time can be made or lost. He's just run wide there. So that lap there, for currently with 10 minutes remaining of free practice, that is just going to absolutely ruin this lap. It will be gone in terms of his sector times. Now there it is currently, 27.252. That was his quickest overall lap time. That isn't the last lap time. That's the quickest lap time. Unfortunately, like I said, I can't give you that, so I can't see if he's plus or minus target. He's run a bit wide. He's trying to get a little cheeky toe there from Serial Kill. The number 27, number 22, there he is. The 27 on the side is the ping rate. Just ignore that. There's Serial Killer in the Lexus. And he's down in 9th place. He's 1.6 off currently. And he is freely fighting MX3 Beast. And they're close in the championship in terms of where they are. So those two are currently just trying to absolutely keep it together. But again, that first right-hander, when you go through Paddock Hill Bend, when you get into the actual race, which will be in 40 minutes time, it's very prone to accidents. Now, statistically speaking, from the time that I've commentated over a last season in a different league, where we won three leagues on a Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, there is a 74% chance there will be an accident at this corner, and then it goes up to 82% if they get through that corner and then get to Druids. So the percentages state that there will be an accident or incident, depending on how you look at it, either at the first right-hander at Paddock Hill Bend, and if they miss that, it goes up to just above 80% into the right-hander at Druids. And that is key. Statistically, they're going to have to get it nice and clean. Now, this is a good overtaking opportunity to get a nice little drag through here. You hook up to the back of the car in front, through the right-hander of Hawthorne's. He hasn't taken all the Kirby cut there. He's pushed the car wide, as Mike RJ's really gone wide there. And then you actually looked sailing up the inside here on the right-handers. Harrison is in the middle of the track there. Thankfully, he got out of the way, because that could have compromised the serial killer. Just going to call him the killer 999. From now on, it's just easier 999. That's the way it is. With 8 minutes 25 remaining of the free practice session. And he's not hooked up that corner as well as he could. The car, he's not using all the track here. Now, the optimal line, you'll see a lot of drivers down this main straight taking different lines. The game specifies that you keep to the right, and just before you get to this corner, you then move the car to the left. A lot of drivers that I've noticed do the line that I take, which is as you come out of that right-hander, down the pit straight, you actually let the car naturally wash to the left side of the track. And then you turn in early to the right-hander of Paddock Hill, and the car tends to bottom out, wash to the left, and then it will grip. It's a very risky move doing that, but if you do it, you can gain not only a couple of thousandths, you can actually gain 2 to 3 tenths of a second, but you have to be brave. It's all about taking that big, brave pill in order to do that. Now, let's have a quick look over to the chat. Jocelyn19, nice to see you again. Thanks earlier for letting me know that everything was all right with the audio equipment. For those of you that are just joining the stream, I had a couple of issues with my audio equipment, and I had to reset it all. And unfortunately, the balances were out. So, Josser, thanks very much. Donington Devil, good evening. Nice to see you again. Grinch94, nice to see you back in stream as well. He's there. Track is currently faster. I don't know what the rest of that was, than Optimum. So maybe a little slower than we expect. Yeah, I would agree with that as well. Again, the big thing there, Grinch94 as well, which I can't see, which is a real shame, I have to admit. It's to do with the UPDP data that comes. Data that comes out of the back of this particular game on PS4. They do not submit it in terms of the protocol. And because of that, I cannot get that data. It's a real shame. So if you're listening, Assetto Corsa Competizione, please enable the UDP data on 5606, please, so we can get this information, please. So that's where we are at the moment. So yeah, again, we can't see the fuel loads here. Because we can't see the fuel load, because we can't see that fuel load, we don't know what they're running. We don't know, again, if people are holding back and not showing their true colours or true speed yet in terms of the pace. So that's what we can see there. So we might see something different. But early indications state that Mike RJ95 is going to be the pole sitter after free practice. We do have 30 minutes of qualifying. Where they get out on track is going to be important as well, because you need a nice little gap in order to get round, get someone ahead. Like you've got PH Alex ahead. Serial Killer's going to hook up the backside, get a lovely toe, but it's going to compromise him into this right hand, because PHX is 1.8 seconds off the fastest current time, and now they're just slowing each other up. Ash has got out of the way, so PH Alex is on a hot lap, Serial Killer is on a hot lap, and the two of them are now fighting each other, coming down to the left-hander of Graham Hill Bend. PH Alex has backed out, but his time will be scrubbed. Serial Killer's run wide, and they're too busy fighting each other. They're not racing each other. It is only free practice. Serial Killer's pulled over there. Currently third fastest, so he needs to now just slow it down a bit, not overdrive the car, and then reassess himself for another attack in this free practice session. And that's what he really needs to do. Space is a problem here. It always has been. Thankfully, we're not on the Indy circuit, which is the shorter of the two circuits. With 17 drivers on track, it's all going to be about going out and finding an optimal place. Now, if I was driving with these stable weather conditions, I'd have a strategy. I'd pop in at the end of practice with about 2 minutes remaining. I'd then get my strategy set up to get the car fueled up for 5 laps. 2-lap warm-out, 2-lap shots, and then 1 lap to come back into the pit. As soon as we go green, green, green for qualifying, I would get out on track immediately. First one out means that you have a nice bit of clean air. Yes, you're going to hit traffic, but you do not want to be in the middle of a pack, as the guys are all now starting to come in, as Bullen has now launched out. He's 1.9 currently off the top time in practice. But again, it's all going to be about finding that space, finding that optimal line, and getting on with it. You need to put your banker in early, and you need to put a good banker in. And then you need to go and absolutely nail it. Go for a 1-lap shootout. Now, with only 30 minutes, with 30 minutes remaining, 30 minutes in the qualifying session, which is coming up in 3 minutes, you have plenty of time to go out, set your banker lap, and then go feed back into space. And that, like I said, is going to be absolutely important for finding where you need to go. So, quick to go over to the chat again while we've got 2 minutes remaining. For those of you that are just joined the stream, hello and welcome. You have joined, you tonight are joining me for the Thursday Night Racing League, right at the top there. We are on Assetto Corsa Competizione, depending on how you say it. Sorry if you're Italian and I've just butchered your language. I do apologise for that. You're joining us for the Thursday Night Racing League. We are coming live from the Brands Hatch GP circuit. We are currently in free practice with 2 minutes remaining of the free practice session. Then we've got 30 minutes of qualifying. After those 30 minutes, you will see a little break for about 1.5 minutes, and that's because I have to log back off and back on to ACC in order to bring over the live feed for the race, because ACC has a very big flaw in it, and it just bugs out. As a spectator, this is so buggy. So I will try and stick with it as long as I can. But if I go and have to come back, please do not go anywhere. I've not given up. I will be back. Donington saying, is everything okay? Let me know, Donington. I'm happy. I hope everyone else is happy. So please let me know in the what there, Donington Devil, what that was about. Please let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions. Always am. Just let me know in the chat. So 1 minute 22. The early pace sitter is Mike RJ95. He's now bailed in the pits. Adam YNWA Foster, just call him Adam, in the McLaren. Bullen's teammate, again, also in the pits. He was the early pace setter. So was Ash 150 and Marmoletto. Oh, I just wondered how everyone was doing. Fair point, Donington Devil. Fair point. And so hopefully the other people in the chat can answer that. I'm doing great, by the way. You're set for an absolutely sensational amount of fantastic racing tickets. So keep an eye and stay on screen. So free practice 45 remaining. So the early pace setters there again. Marmoletto down in 6th. Again, from what I saw at Monza, I would expect Marmoletto to move up the field in that Bentley. But it is a heavy, heavy car. It's got a lot of power to it, but it is very, very heavy. The Mercedes is very powerful, and that McLaren is just nimble, nimble, nimble. So, again, at the moment, we've got 3 different manufacturers currently vying for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So, it's going to be anyone's guess. The time starts to come together. So, the wait time now comes up, 1 minute 55, because free practice is now finished. After free practice has finished, what will now happen is all the drivers will start to just dive into the pit lane. There is Ash 150, he's in the pit. So our early pace setter is Mike RJ95 in that Mercedes. Right behind is Adam, then we got Ash, then we got Gennaro in 4th. But again, we saw this at Monza. Gennaro actually put in an absolutely sensational free practice placing. And then when it got to qualifying, he just didn't put anything in. So Adam is the first driver out. Offcut has gone out in the Porsche, right behind. So everybody now is starting to bail out of the pit. It is all going to be about who gets there first. We're looking roughly with fuel loads, because nothing has changed. I'd expect to be around the 124s again. Now, for those of you that are new to stream, and hello, I've got something a little different today. For those that follow my stream regularly, you'll know what this is. So, on the right side of your screen, we have the Thursday Night Racing TNRL. One day I will get that right. Poll. This is really, really simple. All you guys have to do in stream is in your comments section, type a number 1 through 17. The numbers correspond to the drivers on the right side of this survey. So you guys get the opportunity through the next 20 minutes to decide who you think is going to take the early poll. I will flip in and out of it every 5 minutes, so you'll see it come on and go off, and I will remind you guys. My gut feeling, because I always do have one, is going to be Adam is going to put it on pole position. I think he's just going to find that little short of 0.2 of a second in order to put it through. So I'm going to put my vote in, and I'm going to vote for 2. So I'm voting for Adam. That is who I am currently voting for. So that'll come up, like I said, every couple of minutes. Now, I'm going to pop that down momentarily as we are going to follow Adam through, see what his early pace is. He was 2nd fastest in the practice sessions, but he set the early pace. So that is key. He was only roughly 1 to 2 tenths off the fastest time currently. So he has a real opportunity here to actually take this from his nearest competitor, which was Mike RJ95. Now, Mike RJ95, these two currently are not racing each other in the championship. because my car JH95 is further down the grid, further down the championship. But when it comes to those points at the end of the season, points equal prizes. And if you have more points, you get more prizes. It's that simple. So he's run wide there. So that's going to completely mess up his opportunity here to get those tyres into the temperature zone. He's on a hot lap. I just don't think he's going to be able to set anything here. I'd expect really with that little off, yeah, so he's bailed out again. He's back on the tyre warming to try and get them back into that optimal zone. The entire track is now out. There is 2 drivers behind him, which was off-cut, which is Ash 150 and off-cut, who are right next to each other. So these two are they're just right now. A 125.575 by Ash, 125.3. Not going to be good enough. It's got to be the 24. Off-cut's bailed out the way. He's now released Ash, currently across the line. Marmoletto is fast as off-cut again. He's gone back into the pits. The press grid is at 1 second. A 126, not good enough. He's going to have to really start to get the shimmy on if he wants to put this down. Now, while this is going on, a quick chat there. What is my favourite circuit? That one's dead easy for me, Donington Devil. In this racing calendar, Brands Hatch GP is I love this circuit. I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. I love Surtees. I mean, it's a 120-degree corner. I love the dips and darts. I love the undulation in the track. I like the fact that it's an old-school circuit. You've got hard braking zones. You've got to be really, really brave, especially through Hawthorne, which is here, and then right up to this nice set of corners. You have to absolutely commit full throttle down into Dingle Dell, then up into Sheen. It is absolutely brilliant. And those that can drive this circuit well, it rewards you. Those that can't, it spits you out. And the other reason I absolutely love it is because it's an old school type of circuit. It's not like Silverstone International, where if you run wide, you've just got oodles and oodles of space. Same as Paul Ricard, which is effectively a parking lot with it 2 white lines driven. It's a very tricky circuit, but I absolutely love this circuit. I just love it, and I just love it. And that's my favourite circuit, and that's why I would... I'm going to guess it's Donington. I'm going to take a punt that it is Donington. For those of you that are following the stream and wonder what we're talking about, Donington Devil asked me what my favourite circuit was. It was Brands Hatch GP. And Donington Devils asked what his favourite was. I mean, it could be ironic. It could be that you actually like Silverstone. But there we go. I also have to say the second favourite circuit that I do really, really enjoy, which isn't, I don't think is on this game actually, is a mix between Alton Park, the long circuit, the full circuit. I love that circuit. And I also really, really like, not Stetson, don't like Stetson. Knock Hill. Love Knock Hill. Absolutely sensational little track there. But back to tonight's racing. I digress a lot. Back to the racing. Marmoletto is currently fastest on the 125.032. 25 minutes remaining in the session. Adams just going into the 124.8. Again, he's going to bail out now. So Ash has now gone a 124.4. Now we're starting to see the real race times here. Marmoletto is 4 thousandths of a second, 400ths of a second off on a 124.43. That is faster than the human eye can blink. He's either run out of fuel or he's gone back in the pit. So I suspect, these guys are now pushing the absolute maximum of fuel burn that the cars can have. These cars can be fueled to go the entire race distance. We do run a mandatory pit stop. So there are 2 options, and this is what makes it very, very tricky. Because it depends where you are in the pack, depends what type of strategy that I would run. If I was running at the front and I was leading, I would just run 50%, 50%, or 60 or 40% race distance, pit, put the fuel in, go for 60%. That's what I would probably do if I was top 3. If I was battling and I was going to go for the undercut, I would run longer. I would run the car to 60 to 70% of race distance and then go in the pits. If I knew I could have the speed. If you were dead level, so the difference was less than 3 seconds, I would probably go for I'd go 1 lap longer than the car in front, monitor my lap times, come back out. If I am faster, I would keep going until the driver in front would either match or exceed my times, and then I would pit, because it's going to be an absolute nail-biter. It's going to be very, very close, and that's the point, and that's what these guys are going to have to really start to think about here, because half of racing, especially in this type of racing in the GT3s, is it's all about strategy. This isn't, you can't just fuel the car until you can fuel the car to the end, but you have to put a certain amount of minimum fuel delivery. It is mandatory. So because of that, you could technically fuel the car to the end and put effectively the least amount of fuel in. And just get the tyres done, put that fuel in, get back out. You can keep the pit stop short. But you could gain a lot more speed if the car isn't heavy. I mean, you're carrying around 60 litres of fuel. That's a lot, 60 laps worth of fuel, only 60, 20, 30 odd laps probably. No, we'll go about 40 laps worth of fuel. That's a lot of fuel on board the car. But back over where we are, Ash 124.439 in the Lexus. He's setting the early pace there on a 124.435. As those tyres are really starting to scream there. Y4 is in front, Volton's in front. He nearly held up his teammate there. So those two, it hasn't really hindered him, but I suspect it would have cost him a little bit. We have some movement further up. Press Grid is now into 4th. He's completely missed the white lines entering the pit lane there. Devilfish is down in 5th. He's in 7th, 6th. And then we've got this other group of cars. He's in the Bentley. He's teammates to Marmoletto, who's currently in 2nd. Then we've got PH Alex in 6th. Now, don't forget, guys, the poll is still running. That will be up now for another 10 minutes. After those 10 minutes, I will be turning it down. For those of you guys that are thinking what this poll system is, it is quite... All you have to do is, in the chat, you just have to put your 1 through 17, depending on who you think is going to be our poll sitter. If you're a driver and you're following us on the stream, you can vote for yourself, but you only get 1 vote. That is it. You do not get any other vote after that. So make sure it counts. I have actually voted. I voted myself for who I think it's going to be. So keep it nice and neat. So this is where we currently are in terms of it. So Ash 150 is currently in the Lexus. He is currently our pole sitter on a 124.432. We've got 19 minutes remaining of the session. So I suspect these guys are going to start to bail into the pits and go and start to have a look at terms of their race strategy. Then we got Marmoletto in 2nd, but again, at Monza, Marmoletto qualified top 5, but he just had a silly accident in the opening lap of the race. And because of that, he ended up all the way down the bottom. And then he had to fight his way. Serial Killer's got out the way there. And then he had to fight his way back up through the order, or through the field, in order to get a decent qualifying position. So he really needs to get a clean way. At the moment, you just get the feeling that Marmoletto, from what we saw at Monza as well, he's just holding back a little bit in the tank here. Because he's holding it back in the tank, he should be able to get an early strike here. Now, the first two, Ash 150 in the Lexus, number 44, there he is, and Marmoletto are both 0.3 of a second ahead of the McLaren of Adam. And right behind him, on equal time in the Audi, has he run out of fuel? No, he's just pulled himself over there. He's equal timings to Adam. Then you've got Devilfish, who's kind of on his own at the moment. He's in the pits, in the Bentley. He's kind of on his own. He's had Gennaro in 6th in the another Lexus, join him all the way down there. So these two at the moment are just with equal level pack. The two teammates there, Y4 Volton and Gennaro, they're kind of, again, they're holding each other up. So unless Y4 is giving a little bit of a tow here to Gennaro, they really need to start getting out of each other's way. And Gennaro's just pulled over at the side. And yellow flag's waving because obviously he's gone off. Now, off-cut is 1.3. Someone we've not really covered in terms of the championship and where we are. He's down in 12th in the Porsche. He didn't really find his rhythm at Monza. He's still learning the car this season. New to the league as well. So he's just finding, there's Y4 Volton. So he's obviously had an off or pulled over somewhere in the Lexus. He was the Lexus at the front of your screen. So he's pulled off somewhere. But where the case setting is currently at the moment, Ash 150 is leading. A 124.4 with 17 minutes remaining of the qualifying session. Then we got Marmoletto, who's right behind. Now Marmoletto is absolutely on his heels. Now in terms of race victory, I would put my 50p probably on Marmoletto. From what we saw at Monza, he has the pace in that Bentley in order to deliver the result. The problem Marmoletto has is that he just got himself involved in that silly incident in the opening lap, and it cost him, I believe it cost him the race victory. Now Marmoletto, there we go. So Marmoletto has just pumped in a 1:24.081. He's absolutely obliterated the rest of the field. And now, once again, I suspect he was probably running low on fuel. But this is what the interesting thing is here. When we look over here now to the time deltas, unfortunately, for those that follow my screen regularly, you just cannot, I can't get them, so we have to watch them here. So there is still a quicker time out, not a lot quicker, by 0.02 of a tenth. So he could possibly get himself into the 1:23s, but it's going to be a very, very hard time to beat, especially with the other drivers. Now Ash is, again, he's now 0.3 off. He's 0.3 off Marmoletto. Marmoletto's back in the pits again. And again, what I think they're doing is they're fueling the cars enough that when they get to the last lap, the hot lap, which would be now, I suspect, that would then result in them actually running out of fuel. So they can't actually return to the pits. So they pull over at the top of the hill here at Druids. They park it right here. And at that point, they then return to the pits to put fuel in the car. And I think that's the strategy a lot of these guys are running in order to pump out the times. Now, Depressed Grid is into 4th position. So for those of you, again, there's the TNRL poll. All you guys have to do is put in there who you guys think is going to take the pole position. You just type in the keyboard which letter corresponds to the driver. So for instance, Depressed Grid is number 4. You just type 4, press enter, and it comes up. I'm going to keep that up and running now for the next 2 minutes. Then it will come down, but with 10 minutes to go, I'm going to close down the poll because I expect really for the drivers to start pumping in some of the hot laps closer to the end of the qualifying session. I could be wrong, but that's what I expect to see. Now, the rest of the field, we've got, as Ash has just run wide, he's made a silly mistake there, coming through Sheen. And that's going to scrub the lap. The car is going to have stones rattling all around in the cockpit. He's pulled over to the right. Y4 is absolutely hammering it down there, down through into the right-hander here. This will take us back onto the Bentley straight. And this is just going to, he needs to keep it nice and tidy there. So, driver there is dived into the pits. Y4 through the right-hander here. He's going to run wide. Just keeps it on the asphalt there. Little bit of the rumble strip. It might have cost him a little bit of speed. Full throttle down at the back. Hasn't actually set a qualifying time yet. He's in the pits. He just seems to, I think he might have left the lobby and come back, but he's not set a lap time yet. R. Harrison was my driver of last week. He could have quite easily quit the game. He got 30 seconds for a stop-and-go penalty. He was in the pits about 3 times. But he kept going, and that shows absolute commitment and absolute courage to this type of racing. So that's why he got my driver of the day. But as it stands, with 13 minutes remaining of the practice session, of the qualifying session, Bullen's in as well. Marmoletto is there up in first. Then we've got Ash 150. There he is in the Lexus in second. Then we've got Mike RJ 95 in the Mercedes. setting was setting the early fastest time in the practice session. But it just hasn't really again materialized in the qualifying session. But he is on par on a 124.4 roughly, 124.5, well 124.5, yeah 124.5 if you add them up, which is, again, it's slightly slower than his qualifying times, sorry, his practice time. I just don't think he's going to be able to make inroads here. Ash 150 is back out. Now he's going to try and set something and try and set the car alight with 12 minutes remaining in the session. We're going to keep with him through this and see what he can do in terms of this point in the qualifying session. It's roughly a warm-up lap. We're looking around 130 would be the lap delta to get around the first lap. And then you're pumping out 124s. Including the in-lap and the pit stop, really, he's got roughly, I would suspect, if you add that up, probably about 6 hot laps. No, it'd be 5 hot laps actually at this point. He'd have 5 hot laps maximum to try and put something else onto the board. He's not taken all the curb he could there. He's not committing himself. He needs to really start to wind the car up now and wind up the speed. He's taken out a mighty corner cut through Sheen. So is someone right behind him. I can't see that on the lap delta. It's number 79, so that was why Phil Volton took a bit of a cheeky corner cut through there, Sheen. He's committed now. He's absolutely going to put the power down. He needs to get a good exit through the first right-hander of Paddock Hill Bend. We are going to stay with Ash 150 through this lap. Committed. He hasn't taken all the track he could take there. He hasn't turned in early. The car, he's just that's compromised him. He's losing speed in that first sector. There was at least another half a metre of track he could have exited on, keeping those wheels straight there. He's lost time through the left-hander here. Does he run wide? No, he doesn't. He keeps it just within the white line there out of Graham Hill Bend. This takes us up to 30s. You apply the brake, let the car out, and then absolutely hammer it. Nice and tidy there. He's run a little bit wide, looks like in the camera, but he's just on the rumble strip. Then it's back down the hill. Down the little dip here. This is absolutely sensational. Negative G and then back into positive G. You fling the car then right round to the right, and that just gives you lateral G. It flings you through in the car. He's again not taken all the road he could take there. So as I hit over to the times, is he really doing anything different? It doesn't show me the times, unfortunately. In qualifying, no. So we're going to have to stick with it. Through the left-hander here, keeps it nice and tidy, then it's back down the corner. There is a yellow car, sorry, a yellow car. There was Mike RJ there, just parked on the side of the road. He will have got the yellow flag. So he's going to have lost a little bit of time here. This could compromise his lap. With less than 100 meters to go, has he done it? Has he improved? No. No, he hasn't. See, he's losing time. He's committed now. This is a lot better. That's a lot better exit. He's absolutely committed here to Paddock Hill Bend. Hard into Druids. Needs to turn now. Let the car run wide. Don't take too much so it spins out. He's, again, missed a little bit there. Through the left-hander here of Graham Hill. He didn't get the car all the way to the right side of the track, and as he turned in, the car washed wide on the exit of Graham Hill. That's cost him crucial lap time again. Mike RJ in third. We're following Ash 50, but Mike RJ in third in the Mercedes has improved to 3.3, just shy of 4/10, sorry, just under 4/10 off pole position. But he's now closer to Ash 150. Yellow flag ahead. Someone is slow. They've bailed in the pits. They've got out the lap. Ash was a lot better committed through that right-hander. Now through Dingle Den. This takes us up to the right-hander here of Sheen Corner. That's a lot better exit. You can visually see the power. He's taken much more corner there. Marmoletto. Adam has now just popped into second position. But we're following Ash 150 currently through the right-hander here. Has he been able to do it? Has he been able to improve his time? He was second. He's just been pipped by 0.04 of a second. Yes, he is. No, he isn't. Yes, he has. Look at that sensational commitment there from him. 2/10 off pole position. It looked like it was a hot lap. He was just neater, but there is still lap time to be had in the car. This lap is scrubbed. He was rear end all over the pot. The question is, with 7 minutes remaining of the session, there is Adam, first race winner at Monza. He's currently sat in the pits. Mike RJ, who was the early pace setter within free practice, now we're in qualifying, and he's all the way down in 4th position, just shy of 4/10 off pole position currently, who is Marmoletto, and the Marmoletto is currently back out as, come on cameraman, there we go, somebody fire that person. Marmoletto is back out on it, he's running the lotto there. He's absolutely committing that Bentley. It is a heavy, heavy beast. He's absolutely wrestling it, manhandling it. Every single corner, he's absolutely committed. He could possibly get it into the 123s. The question that we all have, it's green, we're back green racing, there was a yellow flag. Does he do it? There was a yellow flag again. This is the problem that is now starting to materialize, that we're seeing, is because there are so many drivers. The entire field, bar 4 drivers, Marmoletto is bailed out. He's run out of fuel, I suspect. Because that's going to compromise Ash. No, it isn't. Yellow flag. We are green racing again. The problem they have is that because there's so many drivers on track, and if they pull over and stop, it compromises somebody else's race time and lap times. And that's the biggest problem they have here, because it's such a short racetrack, because it's a classic circuit. So really, etiquette dictates that they shouldn't be pulling over and then diving in the pit. What they should be doing is completing the lap and then going into the pit, because it's compromising other people's lap times, and especially at Druids, you can lose so much time through that section, through that hairpin, with that type of racing. It's just, when you're getting down to your hundreds of a second between each, it all makes a difference. But we are following Ash, who was currently first. Marmoletto popped in early in the session with 124.081. Ash has run wide again coming out of Sterling. He's overdriving the car with 5 minutes remaining. Adam is back out. He's decided to wind up the hamster and absolutely nail it on the McLaren. There he is, his teammate. He's all the way down in 13th place. And you think, wow, that's ages away, and it isn't. It's only 1.6 seconds. Offcut has moved into 9th currently while we were watching 3rd place man Adam. But we're going to see what he can do. He was on his out lap. He is now going to go onto a flying lap. Like I said, at best, he's going to get 2 to 3 laps now. But I suspect he won't have fueled the car for that long. He's committed there. It's just right side. That car rides a lot easier there, but he's gone onto the gravel. So I just don't think he's going to be able really, and he's lost it out of Druids. The back end just screams and squiggles all over the place. So that will be that lap gone. He's going to have to build himself up. So his lap delta really is going to be 3 minutes, I suspect 3 minutes 40 when he crosses the line. He's run wide again. He's absolutely, once again, it's creeping in. You just see this time and time again with drivers. They have the pressure. It is there. They have to now deliver. Yellow flag ahead. There is a car stop through this right-hander. It is just not a good place to stop. That was MX3 Beast. That's compromised. And thankfully, Adam's lap was compromised anywhere. But that's the problem when drivers just stop on the track. It's compromising lap times. But here we go, off we go again. The first 2 are only going to get 1 lap. I don't think they're going to bail out. So it's going to come down to Adam. Can Adam actually deliver? Can he put the McLaren onto the front row? Has he got that ability? Has he got the talent inside the racing sim to do that? He's gone through the right-hander. He tends to take a lot more curb here. He hasn't taken all the curb he has, and that's just flung him out the other side. He really needs to nip and tuck into that corner. That's cost him lap time. He's run wide out of Druids. He's gone onto the grass. That's just lost more time. A nice line here coming through the left-hander of Graham Hill, but again, he's just not committed the car. And because he's not committed the car as he had, this lap is really, I don't think he's going to be able to do anything. And again, is bouncing all over the curbs. Through this right-hander here, down now into the little dip, which takes us up to Hawthorns. That's Hawthorne. This is Hawthorne's Hill. Into the right-hander of Hawthorne's. Out of Hawthorne's he comes, flying, absolutely delivering the power. But I think this lap is scrubbed. It's definitely scrubbed now. If it wasn't before, it is definitely gone. Through the right-hander of Sterling, that rear end just wanting to take a completely different direction to the rest of the field. So with 2 minutes remaining of this session, of the qualifying session, blue flag ahead, somebody is being waved to get out the way. Who is that? Who is ahead? It was the number 44, which is Ash 150. So Ash 150 has come back out. He's going to try and go for the crown. At best, he's going to get 1, maybe 2 flying laps. So this is it. This is crunch time, everybody. We all predicted that Ash 150 was going to take the pole position. Even I predicted Adam, I believe. Someone might correct me in the chat. The difference is now, is Ash going to be able to deliver on the promise, on the hopes and dreams of those people following in the stream? Is he going to be able to do it? Marmoletto hasn't gone any faster. Marmoletto is in the pits. He is not coming out, so Marmoletto is currently provisional pole sitter with 1:34 to go. Ash has actually slowed down. There is a yellow flag. The yellow flag is now gone. It was car number 22, Serial Killer, created the yellow flag. There's a blue flag that's gone in. It's just the way it is sometimes. Sometimes the system gets a bit confused. So we're staying with Ash 150 with 1 minute 15 remaining of the session. He is going to get 1 more go. That is it. After that, it is game over. He will not be able to improve. Depressed Squid has now popped into 3rd position. So Depressed Squid in the Audi has popped into 3rd. But we are following the battle for pole position. Can Ash deliver on the promises? Can he do what he needs to do? He will get 1 go at it. Right behind him immediately is Adam as well. There he is in the McLaren. But we are staying with Ash. This is where the battle is. Unless Mike RJ95, who is currently still out on track, he is coming round the right-hander. So we are going to pick up Mike RJ95, and then we're going to start going back. There he is in the Mercedes, early pace setter in practice, put a stonking time in qualifying, but then it just got absolutely obliterated by Marmoletto in that Bentley on a 1:24.081, our current pole position. He's run wide, that's going to cost him out of Sterling. The car was absolutely all over the road. I just don't think he's going to be able to do it. Qualifying is now done, it's over, it's finito. End of, and he's bailed, he's given up. Ash 150 is the next driver, really. Can he deliver something to Marmoletto? Has he got the ability to give what is needed to do? He's got less than 3 corners to go. Nice and tidy there from Sterling. And he's lost it. He's absolutely binned it. That will have cost him the time. That surely now is how he's going to have lost it. It has. Adams bailed in the pits. So your pole position sitter currently is Marmoletto in the Bentley, followed by Ash, followed by Depressed Squid, who's absolutely popped out a fantastic time there. Then we've got Adam in 4th, Mike RJ in 5th, the Devilfish is in 6th, Gennaro is in 7th, PH is in 8th, MX is in 9th. Offcut in the Porsche is in down in 10th position. Then we've got Serial Killer, then Bullen, then Torshi, then Cleneth, then R. Harris, Volt, and Full Throttle, as Ash has just absolutely binned it into the wall. Now, I'm going to have to quickly jump out of this session and jump back into it because it is a weird thing that happens with the game. So, don't go anywhere. So you've got about 1.5 minutes in order for things to happen. I'm going to go to a different screen, but do not worry, I will be back. So we are back, and once again we're having to load it back up. It's one of those funny things that ACC does. It just doesn't give you all the information that you need to do. So here we go. They're just about to go racing now across the line, and off we go. So Marmoletto is your early pace leader on lap 1. PH Alex has run a bit wide there. Has that allowed Offcut to go up the inside? Has he done it? No, he hasn't. He's absolutely shut the door there. There is PHX in the Porsche just a front, shut the door there on Offcut 25, who has Taishi Green right behind him, absolutely hammering it in that Mercedes. He is applying the pressure. 1, 2, 3 drivers, 2 different manufacturers, and look in the background, Serial Killer is attempting to join the party now. There he is in the Lexus 999. He's absolutely applying everything he can. The question is, can he do anything? He's just kind of in this middle field of drivers, of everybody, because at the front, your early pace setter is Marmoletto at this early stage of the race on lap 1. At the moment, he is currently, there he is, he's 2.2 seconds ahead of Ash 150 in the Lexus, who has depressed Squid. There he is in the Audi right behind him. Adam is 6/10 behind, right at the back. There he is in the McLaren, going on to the second lap now. The entire field is streaming through, one after the other, absolutely hammering it as we go into the right-hander here of Paddock Hill Bend. Nice to keep it nice and tidy, nothing too advantageous. The problem Adam has is every time he runs wide, you can see Micah J 95 in the Mercedes. He's just closing that gap. He was 8/10, he's 6/10 now. He's gained 2/10 on the last lap. Behind him is PHX Alex. There he is. He was defending early from Offcut, but he's just managing to hold on to it. At the moment, nobody has gone in the pits. This is 56 minutes remaining of this session of the race. So your early pace setter is Marmoletto in the Bentley. Right behind him is Ash 150, but look at Adam in that McLaren. There he is. He's absolutely hammering it as Mike RJ has spat himself out the wall there. Has that allowed someone to take over? He is side by side. PH Alex has managed to take that position because Mike RJ made a mistake there. The game timings haven't caught up, but PH Alex is in front. Someone else has gone off. Someone else has gone off at the front. It was Adam. Adam ran wide coming out of that corner. It's lost 1/10 of a second. Coming down the hill now to this long right-hander. Is he going to be able to do anything? Is he going to be able to apply the pressure? You just get the feeling at this very early stage of the race on 3 laps to go, just get the feeling that Adam in that McLaren, is he going to look up the inside? He needs to keep it nice and tidy. He is championship leader. He's gone to the right side. He's going to outbrake himself into Druid. He absolutely hammers the brake down the gearbox like a motorcycle. It's a sequential box. 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd into 2nd. Then absolutely 3rd, 4th back up. Pops it into 3rd. Swings it into Graham Hill Bend. Says thank you very much. He's run wide. He's run wide out of Graham Hill Bend to press Squid on the left in the Audi. Has allowed to take that position back. He says thank you very much, I'll have it back. But now Adam in the McLaren is right behind him. He's on the bumper. I do not know why the blue flags are waving. That guy needs to read it. And in the battle behind, those two are still Mike RJ battling as well through the right-hander here. Over 100 miles an hour in these cars. Full throttle has binned it. He's binned it out the corner. He is at the back of the grid. He's going to be getting yellow and blue flags. The two, thankfully, the battle for 3rd position between, come on cameraman, between 3rd place man Depressed Squid, there he is, and 4th place man Adam has just got a little bit, the gap has got a little bit bigger there. That is crucially, that last yellow flag sector zone, looks like Depressed Squid just didn't back off as much as Adam did, and he's just lost so much more time. Mike RJ95 has got past Offcut. I believe he did that in coming out the last section of corners. But the battle currently raging on at the moment is the battle for 3rd position. 3rd position man, Depressed Squid, there he is. He qualified 3rd, don't forget. But at this early phase of the race, this first phase of the race, Depressed Squid in that Audi, you can tell he's just the cork in this almighty bottle for Adam in that McLaren, the number 28, the orange McLaren. Back of your picture, there he is, pops in through the left-hander of Surtees, out of Surtees. Adam just needs to line him up, keep it nice and tidy. He's looking left now. He's going to get into that slipstream. The Audi will be punching the hole in the air through this right-hander. He needs to keep it really, unless he's going to be absolutely committed to the move. As he's just not going to do it there. That's a very brave move going into this right-hander before Dingledale. You have to be committed. He's going to really attempt to line him up through the right-hander of Sheen. Keep it nice and tidy, get onto the back, through the left-hander of Sterling here, and then just hug onto the rear end of that Audi. That Audi just doesn't seem to want to transfer the weight correctly at this section of the race. And because of that, his best overtaking opportunity is into Druids. That's where he's going to have to look to make this position change. As we follow him through, we're going to stay with this battle for the next lap or so, and then we'll have a quick rundown of the rest of the field. Up the inside, he's too far back. Adam just lost so much time. You can see how better on the brakes that McLaren is than the Audi, but the Audi just has more brute force coming out of the corners. It's able to deliver that power in a more efficient way. It just can't stop itself. And there's the problem you have. So at the moment, your early race leader is Marmoletto by 6-7 seconds. At the current rate that he's going, on 5 laps, he's gaining roughly a second, 1.2 seconds per lap on second place second place man Ash 150, who is 7 seconds further down the road in second. Then you've got the battle for third, but there is somebody in fifth position. There he is in a Mercedes, Mr. Micah J95. The battle for third between Depressed Squid. There he is in the Audi, front of your picture, yellow stripes on the roof. Adam in fourth in that McLaren right behind. These two are too busy tripping up over each other, which is allowing Mike RJ 95 to slowly but surely just wheel these two in. Look, you can visibly see how close they were. He was 1.7 seconds on the last lap. He's now 1.3. He has gained nearly 0.6 of a second over the last lap on lap 5. So the third and fourth are too busy squabbling over each other that they're actually allowing Mike RJ to come back at them. Really, Depressed Squid needs to get on the voice box to his team manager, get across to Adam's team manager and say, look, we need to stop fighting. We need to start working together at this early phase of the race and go after Ash, because they're just not making inroads. Marmoletto is driving away with it. He's 7.2 seconds ahead of Ash 150, 7.3 seconds ahead of second place man. Then Depressed Squid, he was 3.2, now he's 3.8. They're just squabbling over each other. Mike RJ's lost a little bit in the field there. Offcut is not really starting to make any inroads on the rest of the field. Then we've got Tommy Shaw right behind, who has Serial Killer in the Lexus, an MX-3 beast for company. So these three at the moment are all nip and tuck, neck and neck. This is where strategy is going to be key. We've got 50 minutes remaining of the race, so it is going to be vitally important for these two guys on where they get in and where they set their early times. Do you bail in at around 40 minutes? Get in, go for the undercut. You just get the feeling that Ty Shaw there in that Mercedes, a Serial Killer's run wide. He's run wide out that bend, at a Paddock Hill bend, an MX-3 beast. There he is in the Porsche, depending on how you say it, was just not close enough to capitalise on it. But the battle's still raging on. It's the battle for third position. So Depressed Squid, through this phase, this centre sector between the end of time zone 1 and into time zone 2, is just slower than Adam. But where it crucially counts is into that final third sector. In the third sector, Depressed Squid is just pulling the legs on Adam, and that's just costing these two time. It's 4.2 seconds now. They were 3.8 on lap 6. The squabbling that these two are doing are costing them crucially half a second a lap on Ash 150. You get the feeling that they are just faster than the other drivers ahead, except for Marmoletto, who's currently just putting in the laps. He's banking them out. That's all he needs to do. Mike RJ is now 1.2 seconds. He's slowly but surely getting caught by Offcut. There he is, 1.9 on the last lap. As it comes across onto the new lap, he's less than a second. So he's gained a second. I suspect Mike RJ95 has made a mistake, and Offcut is now slowly starting to capitalise. Tyshawn Green right at the back there in that Mercedes, currently in the 7th. He is just starting to be a blocker once again. You get the feeling here that Serial Killer in 8th, Serial Killer, 999, there he is in the Lexus, an MX3 Beast 90 in that Porsche. The number 13, back of your picture, there he is. You just get the feeling that MX3 Beast has the pace here to overtake the rest of the drivers, the front two ahead. The problem he's going to have is, where is he going to be able to do it? He's really going to have to look to hook up to the back of Serial Killer. He's building up that speed now. He's looked like he's actually now more on the offensive. He's been rather defensive for the first 8 laps of this race. He's now really starting to reel onto the back of MX3 Beast. He's starting, as the fuel is starting to burn off, that MX3 Beast in the Porsche there, back of your picture, there he is, the number 13, is slowly but surely starting to reel in Serial Killer, who is the burger between the buns of MX3 Beast and Tyshawn Green in that Mercedes. Tyshawn is, I would say, really out of position. He's really down in the 9th positions, but he's doing an absolutely stellar job of defending from Serial Killer in the Lexus, who we are currently following with 46 minutes remaining of this race. Tyshawn's gone in defensive into Druids. He's going to have to be careful. Serial Killer doesn't look for the undercut. No, he doesn't. He just doesn't get the drive. Serial Killer in the Lexus. There he is, the number 22. White car, black stripes on it, with that little blue-purple bit on the back of the bonnet. Just doesn't seem to have what is necessary at this early phase of the race to deliver that striking blow he needs to do to overtake Tyshawn Green in that Mercedes. He's going to have to look out for it. Now, Depressed Squid is still holding off in 3rd position. There he is. Come on, cameraman. He's still holding off the rear of Adam in that McLaren. But you get the feeling that pit strategies is now going to play key. With 15 minutes into this 60-minute race, really Adam is going to have to try to do something a little bit exceptional here if he wants to pull something out, because he's just in that dirty air of the car in front. He's not being able to really get any real inroads here to what he needs to do. But all we do know is that Adam and Depressed Squid, by these two just fighting each other, they're allowing the time to Ash 150 is now up to 3.4 seconds. Marmoletto is just on lap 10 and disappeared into the distance in that Bentley. He is our race leader, but there has been no pits except for Full Throttle. Full Throttle is 2 laps down in the Ferrari at the back, the number 33, but he has pitted. I just don't think he's going to be able to do anything from that, really from that position. I think really that's where he's going to be. A Serial Killer again is just in this sandwich between Tyshawn and MX3 Beast. This is the battle for 7th position. In 7th is Tyshawn Green. There he is in that Mercedes. In 8th is Serial Killer in the Lexus. In 9th is MX3 Beast 80, sorry, gained 10 points. 80 into the Porsche at the back of this. Again, you get the feeling someone here, I really think one of these is going to have to put a strategy. They're going to have to look to dive in the pits at some point to see what they can do. Because at the moment, it's just status quo. With 44 minutes remaining of the race, they're just at a point really now where there isn't anything to gain from their current positions. So, do we think they're going to be able to do anything? So MX3 is now pulling the trigger. The question is, how long is a lap in this session? I believe it roughly takes around 1 minute and 10 to do the lap. The question is where he's going to come out. Ash is currently in second. I am watching that currently. So MX3 Beast is now down in 12th position. Don't forget, he is racing Tyshul Green in 7th and 8th Serial Killer. So the key now for MX3 Beast is where he feeds out on the track. He needs to feed out somewhere in clean air. Car number 7, which is R. Harrison, is now coming down. He will overtake him. And the last placed car, Y4 Volts, is now going to overtake him as well. So the leader is currently coming down through to the right-hander of the final bend. Marmoletto. There he is. Adam has now got past Depressed Squid, 1.3 seconds. I suspect Depressed Squid has made an accident and had a mistake somewhere. So car number 13 is now leaving the pits. He is actually leaving MX Beast, and he's fed back in some beautifully clean air. The car behind him is full throttle. He might have pulled an absolute blinder here. He could have now in a position. Car number 79 is yellow flagged. That is Y4 Volts. We are following Adam currently. There's another car that's full throttles pulled over in the background. He is now off the track. But there is another yellow flag that is coming up into this section. It was car number 44, which was Ash. So Ash had run wide. That's cost him so much time. Between the leader behind, Y4 Volt in the background is bailing out. He's not fighting him. So Adam behind in that, in the McLaren has cleared Depressed Squid. So now, and look at the time difference between 3rd and 4th place man. 4th place man, Depressed Squid, is 1.9 seconds now behind Adam. Adam has been released from this situation, and he's run wide. He's absolutely run wide. I don't know if he was pushed there, but that has allowed Depressed Squid to retake that position. Has he lost out to Mike RJ95? I don't know, because come on, cameraman. No, he hasn't. But Depressed Squid, yes, he has. He's lost out. So Mike RJ off-cut has gone past as well. No, he hasn't. So Adam has just lost it there. He's made a mistake, I think, or he's had it coming together. That is not good news for those two. That is really bad for his championship. In the background, the other battle that is still raging on is the battle for 7th position between Tyshul Green, currently in 7th position, and Serial Killer. Serial Killer has bailed. He's tried to take it. This is key. The key now is where will MX5 feed back out into relation to Tyshul Green. It takes roughly around, here we go, quick maths coming up, around a minute or so to do it. He's 20 seconds. Ooh, MX3 Beast here could have gone for the undercut. He could have now done this. He could have pulled the right move, which is what we were all thinking for those that were following at home. I think MX3 Beast is going to do it. I think he's going to actually take that position. We're going to follow him around. He's now into Dingledell. This goes up into the right-hander of Sheen. He needs to keep it nice and tidy. Has he done? He's building up the speed to the left-hander of Sterling. He's got one corner to go. Car 22. That is the man we are watching. The Serial Killer, 999, is still in the pits. He has not moved. I don't think he's going to. He's moved. Serial Killer has moved. He's now exiting the pit. This is going to be absolutely sensational stuff. Has he done it? Has MX3 Beast managed to do it? He's going to be at full chat as he comes up through the right-hander. No, he hasn't. But the 22 car ahead of Serial Killer. He's made a mistake. He's run wide slightly. MX3 Beast has run wide, and that's cost him crucially. That probably has now cost him the opportunity to take Serial Killer. It was so close, nip and tug, and he couldn't deliver. He's run wide again. He's lost the rear end. He needs to keep it on the grass. Has he done it? No, he hasn't. On his back, he's really now lost out to Serial Killer. So Serial Killer there, by doing the overcut, is what worked. But MX3 Beast made a couple of tiny mistakes, and that's cost him that position. It was MX3 Beasts to take, but Serial Killer decided not to do that. Now, Tyshul Green has been released. Depressed Squid is now down into 6th position currently. Mike RJ95 is in 5th. Offcut is in 2nd. Adam is now in 5th, 3rd position. Now, let's have a quick look over to the replay. And this is what we got. So it's coming up here. This is how Mike came off. I think we might have got Adam came off. He's going right to the outside, and right next to Y4 Volts, there's the press grid, blue flag's waving, and bang, bing bang bosh, into the side of him. So it looks like the other drivers probably actually gave that position back, I would say. I did not see the rest of it on stream, and that has just cost him. That actually was how Adam was battling for third position and ended up down in sixth. So as a quick recap, with 38 minutes remaining of the race, on lap 15, your race winner, sorry, race leader, is currently Marmoletto in the Bentley. There he is. He is 15 seconds ahead of the nearest competitor, which is Ash, 150 in that Lexus. At the moment, Marmoletto is nearly a second of a lap faster than the next nearest competitor. He's just absolutely hammering out that car. Adam Y1N Foster, there he is, currently in third position. He was challenging for second, but on the start, he started in third. Sorry, started in fourth and depressed grid. He was all the way now down in sixth position in that Audi. Just held him up constantly, lap after lap, for about 12 laps. Then Adam had coming together, unfortunately with a back marker of Y4 Volt. That cost him further lap time, and now he's just going to have to get the hammer down. Really now he's got a 20-second deficit. We're nearly halfway. We're midway through the race, and at this phase of the race, I keep trying to say Grand Prix, at this phase of the Grand Prix race, he's just not delivering. He's not doing what he needs to do in order to get that position. He needs to get his head down now. He needs to do something different, really. Either run longer and try and get the lap time down. Off-cut is 1.9 seconds. He's having another solid result off-cuts currently at halfway, just shy of halfway right distance. Mike RJ95 is in fifth. The press grid was running as high as third. Did a very well qualifying. He's just not been able to capitalise on that, unfortunately. So he's kind of in no man's land. Then we've got Ty Shaw right behind him. Now has the Devilfish right behind him, who is Marmoletto's teammate. So the big problem now, Bullen is now up to 9th position after those pit stops, but his real de facto position is probably down in 12th, unfortunately. Now this is key because Devilfish, there he is, number 23 in the Bentley, back of your picture. If he can start fighting with Tyshaw Green in 7th, these two hopefully will hold each other up enough that will allow MX3 Beast and Serial Killer back. But this is the battle for 7th position. The car in front is Tai Shi. There he is in the Mercedes. Devilfish, is he looking left? He's going to have to seriously commit if he wants to go up the inside of a 100-mile-an-hour corner. He thinks better of it. He's going to hug onto the rear end here through the right-hander. Keeps it nice and tidy down into Dingle Dell. This is up, down, and then up into the Dell. Through the right-hander of Sheen Corner, redesigned from a hairpin, named after the racer Barry Sheen on the motorcycles. Through the left-hander into Sterling's. Needs to keep it nice and tidy here. You just need to keep it nip and tuck because the best overtaking opportunity on the race circuit is down into either on the outside of Panic Hill Bend if you're very, very brave. Devilfish has bailed in the pits. He's going at 35 minutes. Bullen is still continuing, but he's kind of in no man's land at the moment. So, Devilfish was racing green. Tyshaw Green, which would mean his nearest rival really is Serial Killer, but they're miles away on the track. These are slightly closer, so I'd expect Devilfish really to feed back in somewhere around the 13th position within the grid. At the moment, at this stage of the race, so he's actually gone in and started. He could get a penalty for that. It looked like the car jumped forward in terms of where we are. Now, let's keep up with MX3 Beast. This is crucial. And Serial Killer. These two are neck and neck once again. The number 23, that is the car of Devilfish. That was on the back of Tyshaw Green. This is critical because if these two leapfrog the number 23, they will leapfrog Tyshaw Green. They will be back to 7th position once pit stop phases are over. And there we go, they're through. They're absolutely through. Devilfish is still in the pits, so he's either got a problem or something has gone. He's just gone from bad to worse. The entire field is streaming past now. He's just leaving the pits now, so that extra lap longer has cost him crucial lap time. But at the front, at the moment, your de-facto race leader is Marmoletto. There he is. He's just kind of on his own at the moment. He's having a Lewis Hamilton. Nobody's really challenging him, and no one's really pushing that car. So he is just left on his own. Devilfish is coming up. There he is. He's now out the pits. But right behind, the battle again is for Depressed Squid and Micro. So Depressed Squid here is going to go to look up the left side through the left-hander of Sheen Curve. He's going to have to keep it, not Sheen Curve, that's the wrong curve, Surtees. He's going to have to keep it nice and tidy onto the rear end. There is a black back marker right ahead of him. That is going to play a crucial role in order to make him get out of the way. It's Devilfish who has finally exited the pit. So Micah RJ is now absolutely hammering. Full throttles off the road again, and that is going to get in the way of Micah RJ. There he is, sorry, Micah J. Is Micah, he's got out the way. Great racing etiquette there from Full Throttle. He's just gone to the grass through the right-handers of Sheen Curve, and again, Micah just had a better exit. But again, the mistakes are starting to creep in as we get halfway through the phase of this race. So at this phase of the race at the moment, we're starting to see some early cracks in terms of the race drivers. So Micah RJ has now dived in the pits. He needs to make sure he doesn't get a penalty here, because if he does, he's going to get seriously hanged. So he's now dived in the pits. Taishi Green has still not gone in the pits. He's going to go for the longer strategy here, I suspect. My gut feeling is he's going to dive in just after 30 minutes. He's going to go for mid-race distance. Bullen is now up into 7th because obviously Micah RJ is in the pits, so we're not really talking about. He's having a very solid race, kind of on his own at the moment. He's not really making any inroads, and he's lost it. He's absolutely binned it. Just as we cut to him, the commentator's cursor struck again, and off he goes. That is going to that car is now going to be horrid in terms of handling. The front end aero is going to have gone. That whole car is just going to be one big mess. And unfortunately, that's just going to push him down the order. PH Alex, who's right behind him, PH Alex right behind him there. He's just going to carry more speed. Bullen is just not going to be able to hold off the car with that front end damage. He's just having a miserable time. On the PC, Bullen did very, very well at this track. He finished within top 3, I believe. Gets to the PS4, and he's just not having a happy Monday in terms of where he is, even though I know it's Thursday. He really needs to dive in the pits now. 13 minutes remaining of the session. He just needs to get in the pits and get a recovery drive on. He's easy picking for PHX. Kleneth is probably going to overtake him as well at the current rate that he's going. Is he going to dive in the pits? Is he going to do anything? I just don't think he's going to be able to deliver on that at the moment. And they've both decided to go in the pits. They've given it up, and they're both now diving in the pits, which is the sensible choice really. But Bullen, and so is Tai Shi. So Tai Shaw has now bailed into the pits. So this is going to be important to where Serial Killer is, and MX3 Beast, who are really, really close together. So I'm going to stick with these two and say when they do, they're going to have to get a shifty on, because Jai Shaw has just gone in the pit. So you get the feeling through the left-hander of Sterling, it's going to be close. It's going to be absolutely nip and tuck. The number 79 of Y4 is now pitted at 50% race distance. Is he going to be able to do it? Are these two? Is the car moving? The number 79, the 325, is still in the pits. He's just leaving now. The other two drivers, Serial Killer and MX3 Beast, have pulled a sensational, strategy move there, and they've overtaken Tai Shaw, who was the blocker in the early part of the race. Absolutely magical stuff there from these two. Brilliant strategic play there to get ahead of Tai Shaw. Who's right behind him at the moment is PH Alex, who is going to overtake Devilfish. No, it isn't, sorry, it's Devilfish. So Devilfish is starting to absolutely cut his way back up through the field, but I just don't think at the moment he's going to be able to do anything. Mike RJ is now currently in 8th position. Ahead of him is Gennaro, who is, I'm just having a look on the field. So Gennaro, yes, he will pass him. And Kleneth could have pulled an absolute blinder here, to be fair. So Kleneth is currently at 6th position. He could feed back, with my very poor mathematics here, he could feed back somewhere around 9th position. So he could feed back somewhere around there, but the battle currently is for 9th position. There is R. Harrison. He's going to play a play in this. Serial Killer is in 9th. MX3 Beast is now at this stage of the race with 28 minutes remaining. He's just absolutely hounding Serial Killer. Serial Killer is not living up to his name here. He's not killing anything tonight. He's just getting mugged by everybody. As Y4 Volton exits the pit, there is a no. The back markers now got out of the way, and these two are absolutely hand over fist, just trading sector time after sector time. The first, second, third, and fourth have now all pitted. It will be interesting to see where they feed up. Depressed Squid will effectively release. Marmoletto hasn't pitted at all, but I think he's going for enough of a gap to put it in. MX3 Beast, there he is right behind in 10th position. There he is, back of your screen, the number 13 Porsche. He is hounding Serial Killer in the Lexus at number 9. There he is, absolutely hammering it down here to the right hand of Hawthorne. They're absolutely keeping it honest through every single corner. It's so tough to keep the concentration. And at this phase of the race of where we are, so 44 has just left the pit. Depressed Squid will be effectively go ahead. When Marmoletto pits, Depressed Squid will effectively become the de facto leader. Clenneth is still in the pits, he's not left. The number 12 of Clenneth on the screen, he's now left. It's just the timing screens haven't updated. That's very nice. Gennaro is in 5th, but at this early stage of the race of where we are, you just get the feeling that Serial Killer, he's doing everything he needs to do. 27 minutes remaining, over halfway distance gone with halfway remaining now. Serial Killer just needs to keep it nice and tidy. Has he done enough? Is he going to look up the inside? No, he doesn't. He's thinking better of it, but he needs to get a shifty on, because 7 seconds back further down the road is Ty Shureen, number 325 Mercedes. And he's slowly but surely closing the gap to these two. So as these two continue to block each other, once again, they're slowly but surely fighting each other. Marmoletto is now in the pit. He's finally decided that it's time to pit, and he's now exiting the pit. He's now leaving, so he will be he will effectively regain the race lead once the Depressed Squid stays in. But this is the battle currently for 9th position. These two are absolutely lap after lap trying to find some way of being able to get past each other, but they're just not really getting any inroads currently into 6th place man Adam, who is a large way up the road, about 6 seconds further up the road at the moment. Gennaro is currently in 5th, but he's not pitted. I suspect Gennaro is going to end up somewhere near 11th, maybe 12th once he's back out. Ash is effectively the de facto 2nd leader, because there's Clenneth in. His teammate is Depressed Squid, who is also currently leading. Now, the problem that Clenneth and Depressed Squid are going to have, both of them, is that they're going to have to choose a time where they're going to pit. They're going to need more fuel on board. Well, they won't. They will actually get away with having less fuel, which is quite a lucky thing to do at this current stage of the race. With 24 laps going, we've got about another 20-odd laps to go before the end of this race. If you're just joining us, hello and welcome. You're halfway through the Thursday Night Racing League. We're coming from the Brands Hatch GP circuit. We're about 50% through the race currently. Depressed Squid is currently the race leader, but he has not pitted, and that is important. He has not pitted. He is about to, there he is. He's about to come up now to the left-hander of Surtees. Marmoletto is 21 seconds behind behind first place, but he is effectively our leader. He got to pole position. He got pole, he's led from lap 1, and he's effectively only not led when he hasn't been in the pits. Right behind him, 13 seconds behind the road, is Ash. He just hasn't been able to do anything against Marmoletto, and once again we just see these silly mistakes starting to creep into his driving. Because he's on his own and he's not really got anyone to follow and he's not really got anyone chasing him, your mind can wander, and that's when the silly mistakes can creep in, and that just costs a lap time and race time. The battle for 8th, as we jump to it, is still raging on. This has been raging on since about lap 1. Well, no, it has been raging on since lap 1. Ty Shaw, who was actually the bottle in the corner between 8th and 9th. There is 9th, MX3 Beast in the corner, and Serial Killer in 8th. They went for the undercut, and both of them have passed Ty Shaw Green. And because of that, Ty Shaw Green is now, he's not that far back, but it's enough that it ain't going to make any real difference as it currently stands. Now, there is a little bit of battle brewing up here. You've got Devilfish now, who's coming up to lap the back marker. But PH Alex, there he is in the Porsche, right behind the Bentley of Devilfish. He's going to attempt to go for an overtake here because our Harrison at the moment, who is a back marker, is actually, look, has he held up the 2 car in front? He might have done actually, yes he has. He's held up the car in front, so I think he's actually now pushed PH Alex into the clutches of Devilfish. There is Devilfish, come on, thank you, come on, speed up. There is Devilfish in the Bentley. He now has PH Alex right behind him. R. Harrison needs to get out the way. He's had more than 3 blue flags. He is being lapped. He's holding up 2 faster cars. I don't know if he can hear me. He needs to dive out the way. Devilfish is going to have to really pick his moment. R. Harrison, I think, thinks he's racing them. He's going to have to back out. PH Alex is trying to go through as well. He's done it now. He's got out the way. He's finally got the message. Devilfish through the right-hander here, down now into Druids, and look how much time that has cost PH Alex and Devilfish. So these two trying to pass that back marker has cost them so much time. And that has now resulted in MX3 Beast. He's now had a little bit of a gap. He's kind of on his own. Now, Serial Killer is slowly but surely at this phase of the race, with 22 minutes remaining, is starting to pull a gap now on MX3 Beast. And it's 3 seconds. So MX3 Beast here could actually be on a fuel saving for the rest of the race, because he was right up the rear end. Then he was 1.1. Now he's 2 seconds. We've just lost somebody from the lobby. It isn't Marmoletto, so you're all right with that one. We have lost somebody from the lobby. They've gone. We had 17 drivers at one point, and now we only have 16. So, Depressed Squid currently is the race leader, but he still has to pit. Everybody else has now pitted. Clenneth has now come out in 13th. He was currently 3rd. But look right behind. So there is Depressed Squid. Currently, let's have a quick look over to the timetable, and we don't get the race pace. Oh, that's a bit sad, but that's how it is sometimes. So on lap 27, Depressed Squid is our de facto race leader, but Marmoletto is coming. Marmoletto will take it. 15 seconds behind is Ash 105, who's just gone off the road. He's got, just as the commentator has struck. How much time did he lose to Adam? Adam is going to be right on the rear end of him now. So if Ash 150 just ahead, there he is in the Lexus with 20 minutes remaining of the session of the race. If he makes one more mistake, Adam is going to profiteer, come past and say, "Yup, thank you very much. That is my position now." So he needs to be very, very careful. Off-cut, there he is down in 5th. Again, he's just having a good, solid result. He's now back past Mike RJ95 from the pit stop phases, but you just get the feeling here that he's going to be able to get past the rest of the field. He's just going to be able to do something a little bit different. Coming into Druids now, needs to keep it nice and tidy. Just get the feeling it's not going to be able to deliver everything. And the field's starting to spread out now and getting into little clusters. This is the battle currently for 5th position. There it is, front of your screen is Offcut 25 in the number 25 Porsche. Right behind him is Mike RJ 95. Now let's have, so car number 11 has finally gone into the pits. Come on, Cameron. Finally gone into the pits. He's going to feed out, I suspect, somewhere near the car number 40. I suspect it's going to feed out into, could feed out somewhere between 4th and 5th is where it does. The question is Nakar number 25, which is off-cut, are they going to be able to do it? Because theoretically, Depressed Squid doesn't actually have to fill up the car that much. Full Throttle is back in the pits again. Car number 25 that we're following now, car number 11 has not left the pits, so he will go down. Off-cut will go past, says thanks very much. Micro RJ95 goes past and says thank you very much. The question is Serial Killer it's going to be close. Car number 11, which is Depressed Squid in the Audi, has now got to get to the white line. There is Serial Killer. Is he going to do it? They're right neck and neck. He's not going to be able to do it. Depressed Squid has just managed to keep out, but Serial Killer has a much better run. He's run wide. He ran wide out of Paddock Hill Bend, and that's going to cost him, crucially, that position. And Depressed Squid now really will be on fresher tyres, less fuel on board the car, which means he should be able to start to drive away from 7th place man. Serial Killer, there he is. So the battle for 6th could hot up, but I just don't think it is, because Depressed Squid, he just managed to keep ahead, and he is really running in lap paces ahead of the rest of the field. He's absolutely flying now down to the right-hander of Hawthorne's. 100 mile an hour in 4th gear corner. Take the brave pill. Don't let it run too wide. Absolutely hammering it now through this right-hander. Yeah, he's breaking up a little bit of a gap there. So even though the time is 6 seconds, let's see what happens at the end of Sector 2. The gap was nearly 7/10 of a second. They're both taking a very advantageous line. And even the gap now is visually bigger between 6th and 7th place. Which means I just can't see Serial Killer being able to make any inroads into that position currently. Now let's have a quick look over to the replay. This is what I believe happened to Bullen. So we're watching Tyshaw through. This is up to the hill to the right-hander. There's Full Throttle bailing out. We're now following Bull on FN2 through the right-hander of Druids. Keeps it nice and tidy. He was on to start making up some places here. He avoids Full Throttle and just has an accident all on his own. Bing bang bosh, front of the end, says thank you very much. Unfortunately, Bullen doesn't really have anyone else to blame but himself on that one. I do feel for him. He had a bad result at Monza, and it looks like once again the commentator's curse has come down and struck him from above, and he's going to have another poor finish here. He's in 12th, which puts him just outside the championship points, unfortunately. So I do feel for him, but he's 19 seconds off Devilfish currently. So I just can't see him being able to take. I can't see him really take anything. MX3 Beast, there he is. He's just ahead. He's now 1.3 seconds behind Serial Killer. He was 3 seconds earlier, so he's starting to make inroads inwards. But at the front, Adam now is right on the rear end of the Lexus of Ash 150. There is Ash at the front of your picture. Boom, there he is in that Lexus. The orange McLaren, the number 28 that we are following at the back of your picture. There is Adam in the McLaren, and he's in the number 28. He's absolutely attempting to get past here. You get the feeling at this phase, with 15 minutes remaining of the race, he's going to be able to go into second. Kenneth, fantastic etiquette from him, gets out the way, says, I don't want a part of this, I'm not racing you. Blue flags are waving, they've now stopped. Adam is right on the rear end of Ash. Ash cannot make a mistake. If he does, he's going to lose this position. This is important for the championship. Marmoletto currently in first place in the Bentley, failing mistake. He's gone up the inside. They are neck and neck coming out into Sterling's. Has he done it? No, he hasn't. He pushes him wide. Does he go for the undercut? He's right on the rear bumper. Ash 150 will be punching the hole in the air. Through to the right-hander, down to the main straight. They'll be building up the speed. Third, into fourth, into fifth, 120, 130 mile an hour, just like a motorcycle. Sequential gearbox, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Then they pump it down into fourth. He's going to go up the inside. This is a very brave move, but he thinks better of it. He pulls out into Graham Hill Bend, not Graham Hill, Paddock Hill Bend. This is up into Druids. He's gone to the right. Is he the last of the late breakers? No. He shuts the door, but does he keep his nose in? He does. Ash has run wide. Do they collide? They give each other room. Down the hill to Graham Hill. Ash has shut the door. He needs to park
it on that apex. Does he run wide? No, he doesn't. And Adam just gets a little bit of a squirrel there as he comes out of Graham Hill Bend, and that cost him crucial lap time there. As we see Depressed Squid going off, I don't know what for in the background, but he's absolutely binned it into the wall there. So he has, that wasn't Depressed Squid, sorry, that was Clenough, has gone off into the background, but we're staying with this battle currently 0.3 of a second. Adam just needs to keep his cool. He is much better on the brakes coming into Druids. He had the opportunity, he just couldn't commit to the move. He didn't want to compromise his race if he comes together because we run race damage. It would cost him vital championship points because of Marmoletto's mid-table finish in Monza and because of where Ash finished. These two are racing for championship points. Now the gap is back up to 0.5 of a second as we go on to the last 13 minutes of the race. Now let's have a quick look over into the replay. So this is how it cost him the position. Is you look, Ash has anticipated the move and left a little bit of space there. Adam has applied on the brakes perfectly as long side by side. They both are equal to that space. Adam has backed off, and now watch that exact moment, that slight little twitch, and that cost him vital lap time. That tiny little twitch coming out of Graham Hill Bend has possibly cost him this opportunity to take this position. But it's reset all over again. It's lap 32 with 12 minutes remaining of the session. Once again, they are absolutely neck and neck coming down into Hawthorne's dip. Back up Hawthorne's Hill to the right-hander. Are they going to look at anything? Are they going to be able to do anything in this section of the race? I don't think they are. I think they are going to have to keep it nice and tidy through the right-hander. Adam's got a much better drive now going into Dingledale. That'll keep him absolutely perfect up into the right-hander of Sheen. Has he taken the corner? They're both going a little bit wide through there, but nothing ventured, nothing gained, as I always say, through the left-hander of Sterling's down there now. Absolutely long cool to Cascades. Into the right, I think that's the wrong race circuit, into the right-hander here, back onto the pit straight, and Adam has just lost so much time. But we're now joining the battle for 7th position again. These two are absolutely fighting each other. Serial Killer just looks like putting in solid lap times. MX3 Beast, currently in 8th position, is absolutely hammering the two behind. Is absolutely nail-biting, pushing corner after corner, lap after lap, to try and get that position back to get ahead of Serial Killer in the Lexus. There he is, MX3 Beast in the Porsche at the picture behind. There he is, the number 13, absolutely hammering in it. 5/10 he was, don't forget, 4 laps ago, well actually no, 6 laps ago, 3 seconds. He's slowly but surely just been reeling him in, but when he gets within this gap of about a second into the dirty air, he just can't deliver the pace that he needs. He's faster through Sector 2, which, for those of you that are new to the racing, through the left-hander here, this is where Sector 2 begins. It is at this section at Sheen. Right now, bing, bang, bosh, bang, Sector 2. He is mighty through this sector, but the problem is this type of race circuit is a classic race circuit, which means there is very few opportunities to overtake, and he's lost another 3/10 in that first sector. He will make it up in the second sector, and then he'll just lose it again. He needs to get his head in the right place if he wants to do it. Serial Killer is absolutely magnetic tonight. He is almost driving on tram lines to keep the defence where he needs to be. It is absolutely magnificent from him. Marmoletto, not really talked about him for the entire race, with 10 minutes remaining of the race with 34 laps. He's just led from start to finish, really. He's just kind of out on his own. Not more to say on that, really. Doing a Lewis Hamilton. Ash is doing everything he needs as well. He is now 1.3 seconds ahead of Adam, who just, again, at this last phase of the race, he needs to start pushing ahead. If he wants to be able to get it, he needs to now start to build up and go for an attack in the last 4 minutes of the race. If he does not do that, he will not finish ahead, which would be a big shame for him. He started 4th, don't forget, behind Depressed Squid, who is currently in 6th position. Mike RJ 5th, in 5th, started 5th, finished 5th. Good result for him. Offcut, Another solid result currently from Offcut. Even though we've got 9 minutes remaining of the session, he's just doing everything he needs to do to stay ahead there of Mike RJ. Doing everything he needs to do and everything he wants to do. And that's the key. This is all about long distance racing with 9 minutes remaining. They're both taking that line through the right hand of Sheen. So it's nothing ventured, nothing gained between the both of them. But the battle for 6th position is starting to heat up again, because look who's coming. It's Ty Shaw in 9th, in 3-2 for the Mercedes, the number 325. There he is. He was currently in 7th position, and he was ahead of the two ahead, of 7th and 6th position, and he was holding them up in the early phases of the race. He was that bottle in the pool. And then MX3 Beast was the first to pit in the Porsche. He's now 2.6 seconds behind. He's had another silly mistake somewhere. MX3 Beast has now got to press Squid hunting him down at 1.3 seconds. And that's just what is slowly but surely starting to get into the end of the race, and that's just what happened. I am watching the stream, don't worry, we will do a lap with Marmoletto before the end of the race. I'm just waiting for the optimal time to do it, because there is so much battlings going on through the field currently. When I get that opportunity, Grinch94, trust me, I will be on board with it. Well, I won't be on board, I will be commentating. But at the moment, we are watching the battle for we are following the battle for 7th position. Depressed Squid in the Audi, right behind, has slowly but surely starting to just reel in 7th position, but he's now in that dirty air. So MX3 Beast in the Porsche, his car will be absolutely hammering off all this dirty air on the back of the car, and that dirty air will be just making the Depressed Squid Audi just not handle properly. It'll just be going light, and he just won't be, he'll be getting hideous understeer, which means he's going to have to adjust his driving, and he's lost, oh, he's onto the grass. He nearly lost the rear end. He's just absolutely pushing. He is visibly closer, but he's going to be probably 0.8 of a second on this next lap. He's lost, I suspect, 0.2, but that is just my poor mathematics doing that. That isn't actual mathematics. It's poor GCSE mathematics that is following that through. Has he? Yeah, no, 0.4. So my poor mathematics was wrong. It was 0.2 in the other direction. You just get the feeling that he is slowly but surely starting to get that opportunity to come at him. The battle also is raging for 2nd position. I am watching both battles currently, and there is currently a battle as well for 5th position that is going on. So I watched it. MX3 Beast has run wide. This is it. This could be Depressed Squid's opportunity to take the position. He says, thank you very much, goes past and says, I'll see you later. And that has cost. That has crucially cost MX3 Beast that position. That is really bad news for him. I do feel for him, but that's just racing sometimes. This is the battle currently heating up again for 2nd position. So in 2nd is Ash 150 in the Lexus at the front of your screen. There is Adam, who is right behind, absolutely chasing him to try and apply the pressure. Mike and RJ. There is also a battle for 4th position currently raging on between Mike RJ and Offcut 25. I will be watching that on the screens, guys. There is a yellow flag currently for car 3. That is Bullen. Bullen's had another accident. He's absolutely binned it by himself again. He's recovered, but yellow flag are waving in that 1st sector. We are following the battle for 3rd position. Someone's gone off in the upper, and surely now this is going to allow Adam right on the rear end. But we do know how good Ash 150 is with defending. He's going to place that Lexus exactly where he needs to. Has he done it? Yes, he has. He's kept it beautifully in the right position through the right-hander there of Hawthorne's. This is into the next right-hander. Needs to keep it nice and tidy. There is a back marker ahead. There is the back marker of Y-Full Volts, who had an early coming together with Adam. He needs to get out the way. If he does not get out the way, it is going to compromise people's races. I am banging the table as I am saying this. Down now into the final right-hander, long right-hander. Y-Full Volt has had 3 blue flags. He needs to keep out the way, because you get the feeling Adam is going to try and attempt to go for the overmove here. Sorry, the overmove, go for the switchback. The white full volts go out the way beautifully. Well, great racing etiquette from him. Down the right-hander. Adam is going to look up the inside. He's got a much, but he's on the grass. He's gone onto the gravel, into the kitty litter. Is he going to go for the cutback? Is he going to attempt to cut back now down Graham Hill straight? Has he done it? No, he hasn't. He's just not fast enough. He hasn't close enough. He has not got the speed. We are going to pick up Marmoletto. I will pick him up, sorry, when he joins the lap. And we will do that lap for you, Grinch94. Do not worry, unless this battle continues to rage on. And then we won't be changing. I'm really, really sorry about that. The battle for 4th position still currently rages on between Mike J95 and Offcut. So Offcut is now into 5th position. Serial Killer is still doing everything he needs to do. Now, our leader is currently going to go across, so here we go. We're going to stay with Marmoletto unless we have another battle change through the right-hander. Look, is just so confident through the right-hander there of Paddock Hill Bend. Nobody's chasing him, applies the brake, lets off the brakes, let the cars roll. Just absolutely majestic through that corner. Down now into the left-hander of Graham Hill Bend. Doesn't need to overdrive the car now. He's doing everything he needs to do. He's keeping it nice and tidy. Through the left-hander here of Surtees, a fantastic long 120-degree corner. Might be 130 degrees, don't quote me on that. Nearly bins it coming out of it as we're watching him. Now we're building up the speed again, up to 6th gear. For over 120 mile an hour, 130 through the right-hander. Tab of the brakes there. Through the right-hander, keeps it nice and tidy. Car runs a little bit wide, but keeps it on the road. Through the right-hander, he will take more curb than he needs to, perfectly within the lines there. Lets the car run left there, down into Dickendale, up into the right-hander of Sheen. You keep the car turning right, absolutely perfect. Down the hill now to the left-hander of Sterling, keeps it nice and tidy, just lets the car work the slip. Just the car there at the back was working that slip angle beautifully. I will explain what that is later on. Through the right-hander with 2 minutes 25 remaining of the session, and there we go, completes it back onto the lap. Absolutely majestic from him. But we are going to pick up the battle once again, perfectly timed here. Ash Adam is on alongside him, coming up into Sheen Corner. They need to give each other room. Has he done it? Yes, he has. He's done it perfectly through that section. He says, thank you very much, I'll have it. Absolutely sensational move there from Ash. So Ash has now gone into second position, has overtaken. Sorry, Adam is now into 3rd position. Adam has lost the second and is into 3rd. I do feel for him, but you've just got the sense with 1 minute 45 remaining. We'll get 2 more laps, and that will be it. You just got the sense that it was always going to happen here. Mike is RJ, Offcut is down in 5th. Serial Killer, absolutely sensational drive here from Serial Killer. He is now on the back. Depressed Squid is now got past. Depressed Squid has binned it. Depressed Squid has absolutely banged it into the wall. So Serial Killer here now to hold on to 6th position, has to do everything he needs to do. He needs to make that the widest Lexus in the entire world. It has to be wider than the track if he wants to hold on to the position. Serial Killer has spent the entire race defending from MX3Bs, from Ty Shaw, from Devilfish. At one point he was defending from Offcut and Mike RJ25. He's outdriven that car. He's absolutely shone through this entire race. He's absolutely fantastic. The leader is now on the final lap. This will be it. He will get, if he can stay ahead of the leader, he will get 1 more lap, and that will be it. There is also a battle brewing currently for 3rd position. So 3rd position, sorry, not 3rd position, for 4th position. I am watching that on the screen as well. We are currently following the battle for 6th position. In 6th is Serial Killer 999. There he is, absolutely hammering it down now. Magic sound through the right-hander here of Hawthorns. He's not taken all the road he can do there. I'll push the car wide. Depressed Squid. That could have cost him the race. This could actually now cost him the race if he doesn't find anything. Offcut is right again on the back of Mike RJ95. Is he going to be able to do anything? I'm following all the battles for you. Do not worry. If Ash manages to get past, I will switch to that. And the Offcut's lost it. He's absolutely binned it out of Paddock Hill Bend, and that will have released Mike RJ95, he said thank you very much, pressure is relieved, he just has to finish the lap, and he takes that position. Serial Killer is going to cross the line now, he will get one more lap. Depressed Squid is now 2.2 seconds behind. That early pace that he was able to find is just dissipated into the distance. I do feel for him, but this is it. So as we come across the line, I think the battles have now all finished. Ash 150 is right on the back of Adam. He's not given up. He's going to have to go for the last of the late breakers, but I just don't think he's going to be able to do it. You got the feeling that Adam in the McLaren just ahead was just picking his time, was waiting for his moment to do it. He will come across the line in second position and failing an absolute mare now. Crossing the line, he takes it, fantastic race. Ash 150 is in third. Mike RJ 95 in fourth. Offcut should finish in fifth. Serial Killer, magnificent defense for the entire race, is in sixth. Depressed Squid was in seventh. He was going to take it, I believe, but he just couldn't do it. He just didn't have, unfortunately, he just made some silly mistakes. MX3 Beast, unfortunately, again, his mistakes cost him. PHX is down in ninth. Devilfish is now finished in 10th. Tyshaw up to 7th at one position, just pulled the wrong strategy, unfortunately, on pits. Was in 11th. Bullen, just 2 accidents by himself. Do feel for him, down in 12th. Clenoth is in 13th, again, having some accidents by himself. R. Harrison's in 14th, and Y4 Volt is just pulled over. So that is it. That is your final field. Marmoletto is your race winner. Adam is second. Ash is in third. Ike RJ is 95 is in fourth. Offcut in fifth. Serial Killer is in sixth. Pressquid is in seventh. MX3 Beast is in eighth. PH Alex is in ninth. Devilfish is 10th. Tyshaw is 11th. Bullen is 12th. Kenneth is 13th. R. Harrison is 15th. 15th is Y4 Volt. Gennaro, unfortunately, had a disconnect. Finishes 16th and full throttle. Now, as we go across to the replay, I did pick something up, but I can't remember what I picked up. So this is Offcut. This is how Offcut lost it. He was on the back of Mike RJ95 here. You got the feeling he was going to do it. He was going to take this position on this lap. Comes through Paddock Hill Bend and just rear end, says, no, thank you very much. And boom, off he goes. And that was the end of that in terms of the race. So that's the pole. That's the wrong one. So that's it, guys. That's the end of it. That is the end of tonight's race, which was at Brands Hatch GP. And as always, absolutely sensational race for these 2 hours and for the 60 minutes. So it comes down to who is my driver of this race? Who takes it? Now, there's a couple of criteria for those of you that follow my stream regularly. I don't just always pick the fastest driver. I like to pick someone who has worked for it and who has done something a little different, and that's what I like to see. So for me, Marmoletto is not my driver of the race. Is not driver of the race. You could argue he deserves it, but he drove very clinically, and he wasn't really pushed at any point in the race. Very well from him. I do not, I'm not knocking his driving. It was sensational. For me, I'm going to give it to Serial Killer. Serial Killer, yeah, Serial Killer. Yes, I'm going to give it to Serial Killer. Sorry about that. I had to really think about that. I'm going to give it to Serial Killer. And simply because he pulled a fantastic move like MX3 Beast to undercut Tyshaw, who finished in 11th position in the Mercedes. Did that to undercut him. But he kept his head, and he finished a lot higher than he should have done, really. And he was just pressured lap after lap. He spent his entire race defending from the entire field. And because of that, he's going to take my driver of the race. And it's my opinion and only my opinion. So it doesn't mean anything. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Yes, we'll be back in 2 weeks. I can't remember the race circuit. Hold on. We'll be back at Silverstone in 2 weeks on March the 18th. So thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed the racing, and good night.